Well, I have a look at how the Celtics got the NBA champions for the 14th time. Clark Booth was in Houston for last night's festivities, and he has this report.
In the end, Texas hearts were deeply touched by the Rockets, so at the start there was a lavish display of such sentiment. On they charged through corridors of Rockettes, and you sensed the last fling would be at least gallant. In terms of art, this was not a memorable series, but it did have a nice wind-up. Both teams played their best in this final game, but the Rockets had riled the Celtics, and rather deeply at that. It was a death wish the Celtics proceeded to fulfill with considerable delight.
Every dog eventually gonna get his bone. They talked all that junk. Now time for me to talk. They talked all that junk about what the Celtics, the Celtics couldn't do this or couldn't do that. None of them talk. Let's see what they talk about it now.
The first half was taut. The Celtics set the pace, but the Rockets hounded them step for step from rarely more than a 2-point distance. Robert Parrish was hot, and it was soon clear that Larry Bird had come to shoot. But the Rockets stayed with them, led principally by the fine young player who put his name in lights in this series, Robert Reed.
You give them credit for holding us off, because see, we were like a dog fight. You know, we were just going to go in, the mangy dog against the pedigree dog. You know, hey, what chance he got? But we were going to give everything we had. And I think honestly, we gave everything we had out there.
They closed the half with a 6-point edge on a pair of drives by Carr and Archibald. Pundits freely promised a blowout in the second half. To the end, Houston got little respect. When it resumed, Boston pranced to a 17-point lead. They were running now and shooting at better than a 60% clip. It was a tie that looked relentless. But here the Houstons reached back and at last earned their due. Facing a massacre down 17 with 10 minutes left, they mounted a fierce press, ran off 11 straight points, and slashed the Celtic lead to 3 points, all within 5 minutes of play. It would be their last defiant gesture, but it was bold and a nice little touch of class.
I had a feeling that somehow we were going to win it, and so I couldn't figure out just exactly how. When we were down 17, we made some changes that happened to work, but when we got to within 3, I thought, yep, sure enough, it is going to happen. Larry Bird thought differently.
How perfectly stated. For it was the smoldering Bird, who had been at least loosely controlled this series, who took it upon himself to end the madness. It was a sort of mandate only the true greats dare seize. He hit 2 jumpers to put Boston back by 7. When the Rockets lurched once more, cutting it to 3 again, he closed them out with a brazen 3-point bomb. It was memorable, and it was done with the audacity that only the very best can summon.
Well, I was standing over in the corner wide open, and they got me the ball, and nobody ran at me, so I just took a half a step back, shot the shot. In them situations, we had a 3-point lead. They still had to score twice to get ahead or come down and hit a 3-pointer themselves. So all I did, it was nothing I didn't even think about it at the time until after I hit it. Then it hit me that I hit a 3-pointer, and it was a key play of the game, but a lot of other guys made a lot of key plays, and it was just a shot that had to be taken at that time.
Seconds later, Houston's last forlorn hope expired in a wild loose ball scramble. If it was not a pretty series, it was a hard one. So it veered into that euphoric glow that is always best when a thing worth doing is finally done, and done so very well.
Chief, brother Chief.
It's just a great feeling right now, and I probably will cherish this moment for the rest of my life. This is my first world championship, and I just hope it won't be my last.
But this, a young team, a new team with no previous experience together with new guys, and it goes from the bottom to the top and the top to the bottom. I mean, between Harry and Bill, myself, I tell you, it's absolutely fantastic.
I mean, you're still the same man you were this morning, so what does being a champion add to your life? Probably a big playoff share and lots of attention, probably a few endorsements and a couple more things like that.
Tell you what, it's a hell of a lot of hard work. If you told me this year I'd have worked this hard, I'd have told you were crazy. I didn't believe there could be this much hard work in the world, but there is, and it paid off.
A lot of times, you know, you're very humble and you say, hey, we really don't deserve all this. This group deserves it. We worked hard for it, and I'm very happy that we didn't blow it.
We're very happy we won. It's a gallant effort on our part. We played hard, and I feel good. You know, it's just a great feeling to do it. And I've never been in a situation where I've won something like this, and it definitely is going to hit me a little bit later.
So there it is, friends. And for the 14th time, you could look it up. Clark Booth, Sports Center 5, Houston.
Again, there'll be a parade for the Celtics Monday morning at 11 from Park Square to Government